Yeah. See, here we go. All right, we got it. Let me see what we got going on here. Okay, we'll formally roll the show out in a minute. Where there's a will, there's a way. We got it. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Okay, we got 41 people in the house already. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, thank you.
It was a little bit tricky. Let me plug this in so we don't. 1 second. All right, let's see. Okay. There we go. All right, we got this. Well, we're going to jump right into it.
Okay.
Katie Indico just sent me a note saying she was sweeping the astrals. I think there's a lot of energy going down. Is that what you were just saying a second ago?
Yes, my swamp cooler wasn't working. Yesterday, it was about 90 to 100 in here at this time, wow. and they just left. They're in my place, and I said, I gotta get ready. But they may have been a part of the show. But yeah, they just turned it on, and I just have air for the first time, and it's like in the 90s here.
It looks like it's blowing on you pretty good right now.
Well, it was on high, and then I turned it to low and then I had to buy this fan this morning because I didn't know if it was going to be a hot box today. And at one point, it was just everything was blowing, and like I'm going to be online, and it's like I'm going to be blowing away.
Well, we got it. We worked it out.
Yeah.
All right, let's formally roll the show out. We haven't even said hello to each other.
Yeah.
So we'll just do it on here.
Okay.
So there's some new faces out. I see some new faces. They must be friends of yours. Let me welcome all of them and everybody else that's here.
Yes.
My name's Todd Medina, and this is the Soulogy Network. This is our flagship broadcast, which is SoulSpeaks 5D. It's a conversation with, and today it's Shekina Rose out of Sedona. So I just want to say thank you and for honoring us with your presence and sharing space with us. I'm Todd. How are you? Right?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Todd. I really appreciate this. And I've been really having this excitement, like this joy, like today for this. And I've been watching some of your videos and your shows, and I was just like, wow, this is incredible. And I was meeting new people on your show that I had known before. And I was just knowing how important it is to have like these kind of platforms for people. Yeah. And you are, you're interviewing. What I like is you're interviewing all different types of people, not just kind of one segment. You had a rapper on there. You had Keith Allen on there. You have a lot of variety. And I feel like that's important in this time. And that we see each other and we recognize each other and that we connect. And we start connecting the groups and the peoples and revealing ourselves. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. And I appreciate you coming on. And I agree with you. I really do. We've been doing this for a while, and like with everything else in what we call the Ascension, there's a little pushback here and there, and we've just got to hold on to our truth, all of us, whatever that may be. And so I think that Soulogy, as was given to me years ago, was that everybody's included. There's no superiority, there's no inferiority, there's no exclusivity. And so I'm a firm believer that, the information that you'll probably share with us today on a high level, whatever that may be, are other people that have been on here that are well known. You're followed pretty well. Morgan found you, and you were kind enough to come on. But I find that the people, the activations, the biggest and most important activations come from us speaking our truth. And like you said, seeing each other and talking about our experiences, not always about the downloads and the channeling and our understanding. It's about, what I call the gift and the mission. That's the human part of us. So, or at least the divine human part of us. Let's say that. But yeah. So I appreciate those comments. I usually ask people when they first come on here, it's getting kind of old. I may stop doing it, but I like to ask them when they woke up, because it's usually pretty interesting.
I feel I was always, to a certain degree, a starseed. To a certain degree, I was a Blu-ray, which I found out later, an empath, a sensitive, always kind of connecting in the other worlds. I didn't really understand this world. I had challenges in school. I couldn't understand how they taught. It didn't make sense to me. Speaking in language, that was really challenging for me. And my first language is empath and telepathy, and that's how I connected, and through just knowing and sensory. So I was always kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, I think it was in my early 20s, I wanted to meditate. I wanted to learn how to meditate. And as soon as I tuned in and started to meditate, my star family showed up.
Wow.
And it was pretty easy to communicate with them. And this was before, now I knew it was quiet. I was quiet about this. I knew I was from the stars, but I didn't tell anybody. I'm not like Indigo. Indigos, they get the download, they know their truth, and they speak it, and they're so articulate. It's like amazing. I'm inward about things. And so when they came, they started speaking with me and sharing with me about who I was, about my mission, about my purpose. And I hadn't read a book or anything like that. So their information that they gave me was really intense at the time, even though I felt that I was kind of from the stars. And prior to that, I would actually go outside sometimes in the night sky, and I would look up, kind of hoping that maybe they would come back and get me, because I felt a little odd in my family.
Yeah.
And they noticed that as well. So they told me things about the future. They said where I was from, what star system I was from. They said that I was here to help create the new humanity.
Yeah.
And that was really a lot for me at the time, because I was kind of alone with the information. And it took me a little while before I started to meditate again, because it was so intense and it was so powerful. So that was there were different times on the journey, but that was the very beginning. And then and we were communing. So we started to commune, my star family and I. And what they told me was what I needed to do to be on this path and this journey is that I needed to purify. I needed to go on a purification. This was my path, was to start on my purification. So, and they said, you need to start to purify and to heal your family wounds and to really work on that first. And as we progress, and then they told me that I needed to purify my body and my being. And so I stopped, coffee, sugar, like everything. Eventually, and I did. I continued to really meditate a lot, and I sought counseling, and I seeked group counseling for many years. I just focused on my family lineage, and doing the best that I could to heal that. And during that time, boy, my senses got even more and more open, and my spirit guide became really strong in my field, and it was like we were inseparable. We got really, really, really close, and she helped me because it was challenging. It was challenging to go through that, healing of the family, all the things. It's almost, I think in my family, I think there's probably like everything, like all the abuses are there, and I had to heal through all of those, and it was very, very tender and very, very challenging, and I was really shy and really, really inward, and actually that's how I got on the path of becoming a healer, because I remember being in a group, because I mean I just took it on. I went to counseling. I saw my counselor, a personal counselor, every week, and then I did group counseling eventually too, and that kind of speeds up your process. And I remember being in the group counseling with others, and it was just sometimes so excruciating because I'm such an empath, such a sensitive being. And I remember at one point being in the group and feeling what I was feeling, and I just thought, oh my goddess, other people go through this. Other people feel this and experience this. And it was just at that moment, and it was, I'm devoting myself to healing and to helping, because, you know, we all go through this and we all have this in one way or the other. And I want to be a part of that healing. And so that's how the first kind of part started. Right. And one day, my spirit guide, Russia, she was so close to me. We were just inseparable. I could hear her, and we were so close. And she said to me, it's time for you to go on your journey, but to shift from this and to go on your spiritual journey and to open up now. You don't have to, like, you're finished with that part. You're finished with your family, healing the family. Now you're going to go on a journey of the spirit. And at the time I was working in Chicago, Illinois, and I was really into in the fashion industry. And I had to study fashion, and I had to know what was going on, and my spirit guide, she says to me, it was when O.J. Simpson, I remember that was the last time I watched TV. It was O.J. Simpson was in that white van. Yeah. And he was trapped.
It was like 90, 91, 92.
Something like that. Yeah. And I remember that. And my spirit guide, she told me, she says, and I was married at the time, and there was like TVs everywhere. There was TVs and clocks everywhere, and she said, that's the last thing you're going to watch. You need to disconnect from everything. No more movies, no more media, no more newspaper, magazine, anything. No, you need to go in, you need to tune in, and you need to know what the real truth is beyond what you've been taught. Now you're going on this journey. And so that's how that next phase began. So
you've been doing this a while. By the time 2012 hit, you were already probably had, 20, 30 years into it.
It's unbelievable. 2012 is right when I moved to Sedona. Okay. Gaia called me to come here. But I was in Florida in 2008. and I was on the path. I had a few large things happen. When I was in Florida around 2006-07, I had a near-death experience, which was really, really shifted me. And that's when I shifted my name and decided to come back from the light. And the only reason that I came back from the light was to sing in the language of light. Because when I was over there, I was thinking about this today, how interesting this is, because near-death experiences they shift you instantly. After you come back, the way that you have connected to anything and everything, no matter what it is, no matter if it's spiritual or not, it has shifted and it has changed. And I remember when I went to the light, I got attuned to like all these frequencies. I could hear, I don't know what it was. I don't know exactly what the words are. Some people say it's like the music of the spheres, the sound of heaven. However, today I was thinking, I didn't go to heaven. I remember seeing the heavens, plural, and I was at the light. I went straight to the light. But being at the light, I got so attuned in the remembrance of this frequency and these of God creation of sound that it shifted me. It shifted me. And that was the only reason that I came back to this planet. That my soul just clicked right before I was going to step over. I was going to cross over. Something inside of me just said, I want to sing in the language of light, which I didn't really quite even understand that. Never being a singer, ever, never opening my mouth to sing for karaoke or for anything, but I plummeted back into my body. And that's, I started singing in the language of light.
Had you spoken light language prior to that?
I don't think so. It was right after I came back and I started singing and started doing like little, it was different. It was more stronger like tones and frequencies. And it was, I put a video out. I was invited to go to a conference and do some singing, a language of light. And that's when I put this video out, my first video, 2008, and I put it online, and that's when science found it and analyzed my voice, and they found all these frequencies, the ancient Solfeggio scale, the mathematical equation of creation, like all of these different frequencies. Wow. And I just knew it was I just knew it was the light.
I'm surprised you didn't get a visit from the Men in Black, or they try to put you in a zoo. Back then, right? I think we're safe now, but
yeah. Well, it's pretty strong. I mean, that's the reason why I came back to the planet.
Yeah,
was because of that. So I knew it was really important for me to bring this forth and to share this and to continue to do so. And that was really significant back then. I mean, I didn't know. I had no idea what this scientist, this physicist was talking about when he analyzed my vocals, and he said, will you sing in all the 6 pure tonal notes of creation? One of them being 528 hertz, miracles and transformation. And I was just clueless. I said, well, what does that mean? What is that? And then he found just a whole bunch of different, frequencies and the analysis. And at the time, I felt like, wow, science has given me a blessing. Some kind of somewhere to put what I'm doing. Because singing in a particular frequency, like 528 equals miracles and transformation. That makes sense. You could probably understand that. So I just put that. I put the 1 in the beginning on my CD, the language of light, and then put that on there so that there would be some kind of reference to help people a bit with that. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing story. It's amazing. Now, do you do like live performances?
Yes. Oh, yes. Last year I did a whole bunch here in Sedona. Yes, I do live performances. Yes.
Well, we've had 3 people already ask if you can do it now. I'll let you sit with that a minute. So, wow, that's pretty. That's amazing. Very unique story. I was going to ask you. You were talking about your close relationship with your spirit guide, and a lot of people. Was that to you an external essence, separate from you, or something that you embody, or maybe external in the beginning, embodied later?
Back then, yes, it was external. It was an external expression, and I was extremely close with she was a female, extremely close with her. We were like inseparable. We were speaking 24/7. She was helping me through this healing process. Because it was really, really, really intense, and she was just 24/7 there for me. I mean, a lot. And what's interesting is what happened is we were so close, and I could hear her, no problem whatsoever. And after I'd gotten done with that phase of deeply working at emotional issues, family issues, both mom, father, just the whole thing. She said to me, things are gonna change. Things will have to change with us. She actually used to sing to me, and she sang me a song. She sang me a song, and it was really beautiful. It was she used to sing to me actually a lot, to give me messages through music, so that I could discern that was the message. And it was unbelievable. It was delightful, and I loved it. And she sang me this song. I think it was it Whitney Houston? And I Will Always Love You.
Right.
And but this time because before she would somehow get a song, and I could hear that song, and she put a lyric, like I'd hear the lyric, and that was the message. Right. And that last time she was 2 other angels. I always remember it. It used to make me cry every time I used to talk about it back then, because I was just so close to her. It was her, and she had 2 other angels with her. And she actually sang the song to me in her own voice.
Wow.
That she would always love me. But I got it. I knew what was going to happen. She was telling me that she had to back off, that we couldn't be inseparable anymore, because that's not the way I'm going to grow. That's not the way I'm going to be able to connect for the rest of my journey. So and it did happen. She massively backed off, so that I could continue on my journey and be open and more connected to other aspects of who I am, and the other guides, extraterrestrials, divine beings that I would encounter in the future.
Wow.
And work with.
So do you still run into Russia every now and then?
Well, Russia's never left me.
Well, yeah. That's right.
She's this particular guide has always been with me, and probably will be with me.
Yeah.
She's always there.
Would you say she's an aspect of you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. More these days, I've been feeling like more of my essence. Like more these days, it has been the journey that certain experiences would happen, major experiences that would shift my life, and that would also bring particular beings that I would have relationships with, and we would work together for some time. Still doing that now. However, if more lately in these last times, it's hard to discern time.
Mm-hmm.
It feels though I feel like I'm experiencing or connecting more of my own essence, like my higher self, I guess. I feel that more than I ever have on the path and on the journey.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're integrating with the higher self?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And also expanding. Like my physical being, I feel, is experiencing a shift.
Yeah.
An expansion. Now this has been going on for quite some time. However, in the last couple years, or even this last year, it seems to be more.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be something that's happening or noticeable in more and more people. It may not come out the same way, but it seems to be that we're pulling in higher aspects of ourselves, if you will. Whether you call it higher self, and I think there's been a lot of galactic involvement. It seems like as time's gone on. You've got a pretty strong galactic connection, obviously. They've been communicating with you for a long, long time.
Yes.
Does it still operate that way? Do you still have a main line with the galactic?
Yes. Yes. Now coming to Sedona, and I was on the eve. I came here for the 11/11, so I was here for the 11/11, and then 2012. So I've been here since then. And coming to Sedona has increased all awarenesses, has increased all connections. I've had, and I'm used to it now. I'm used to, because these portals and these vortexes are real, tangible, and I've had connections with a ship that changed my life, and I've had beings physically show up in my presence, where we communed and we connected for years.
Wow.
On the 11/11 of 2013 is when I was on the land. Now, I'm on the land. I have an affinity with this land. I mean, I'm looking out right now. It's like amazing. I have this window, and I'm looking right at huge Cathedral Rock vortex. I just love it. I love it. And I'm on this land every day. No, I didn't go this morning, but I'll go this evening. I will be on the land. I have to make this connection. It's so gorgeous and amazing here. And on 11/11, I was at the cathedral vortex, which I really have an affinity with. And it was around like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was with another person, and there was this ship, the cigar-shaped ship, very close, but you get ships here nonstop. Now, for me, I haven't connected so much with a ship in this way. Anyhow, the ship came close. I'm on the mountain high. It was a little intimidating at first to see this ship so close. And I stared at it. We both stared at it, this person and I, until it vanished into thin air, which this happens all the time. You see this. The portals open and close. It's an interdimensional, interstellar portal here. Huge, huge here. And but something happened. As soon as that ship disappeared, I'm way, way high in the mountain, and this hawk flies, like the ship vanishes. And as soon as the ship vanishes, this hawk flew right over my head, like right over my head where you could hear the wingspan. And my being said, pay attention. You need to pay attention to this. And anyhow, I was late and I had to run, and I did. I went in and I tuned in to what I saw, because I wanted to know if what I saw, what it was, were these beings benevolent, malevolent? I took my devices. I've been making devices for a while. I took one of my devices, I held it, and I asked, and I tuned in to the frequency, and I said, "Who are you?"
Right.
And because that's what humans want. But humans don't always get that. Humans always want to know who you are, right? And I got an answer immediately. They didn't tell me who they were, but they said to me, "We're here for peace." And when they said that to me, like, I hear words. Beings can say words to me. I can feel sometimes the message of the words beyond what's happening, empathically what that meant. So when they said, "We're here for peace," I experienced this empathic resonance that took me back a bit. And then I knew these beings are good beings. These beings are for peace. These beings are for unity. And then after that, I saw them a few other times. I would see the ship a few other times, and something happened to me. And this happens frequently to people who have experiences with ships. After I had that experience with that ship, something happened to me, and it was like the realms, right in real life, of the higher realms just opened wide open and real. And I started getting continuous downloads of blueprints of codes, almost nonstop. And I could see them as clear as day. And it was just one after the next, and it was a lot. It was a lot to handle. And I didn't stop it. I felt like I shouldn't stop it. But they were just one after the next. They were coming, and I would just see them as clear as day, and I'm not saying anything, because some of these codes, these blueprints were like a city of light. It was a blueprint for a city of light, or a blueprint for a galactic civilization, free energy. just incredible. And at one point, what happened is I started creating the devices. I started making these technologies. And as soon as I started making the technologies, it started to slow down. And I felt like what happened was, I feel we're all this. I felt like I was a vehicle for this information, this energy, these codes to come back on the planet. And that's what I was doing. I was letting that back in to the planet, to the grid lines, to the frequency of the earth. And so that started our relationship, and we connected for many years. That's why I make the Pleaidian Stargate pendants was because of them. I had, what would happen is when I would finish a series of a technology, and in the beginning I made the Metatron disc and the Seraphim recalibrator of your DNA. When I would finish with a line of a particular technology, I would finish it, and that night, like clockwork, I would have beings show up, and they would stand right by my technology that I just created.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Morgan and I have had, I think 3, or at least 2. It's the third one, yeah. And the last one, well, the second one, there was some materialization. There's no question. It was a little bit translucent, so you could see through the figure, but it was very detailed. Mm-hmm. So when you say they show up, are they fully materialized? Or are they somewhat pixelated, translucent?
Fully materialized.
Yeah.
We're in the vortex. When I had that ship in 2013 come to me, I was in the midst of creating the technologies, and I was creating the headpieces and the different things. And one night a woman showed up, and she stood by my technology, and this was before other people had come out. And I thought she was I thought I was dealing with Pleiadians. But the beings usually don't say, hey, I'm all this. I'm a Pleaidian, and this is who I am. What I've encountered with all the beings is they don't telepath, different things like that. They just don't come right out and they tell me who they are. I assumed they were Pleiadians for some reason that I was working with. And when she showed up in 2013, here is this being standing there. That's why I didn't freak out, because I had just went to the vortex. I just went to Cathedral, and I went into a portal. I went into this white portal, and I had a digital camera. I'd gotten pictures. I put my camera on the ground. Mm-hmm. And I went into this portal where the rose ray was. I put my camera on the ground, and my camera got all these pictures of me in a white portal and a ship.
Wow.
And when I remember I came home and I looked at the pictures, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, how is it possible? Literally, it's not the sun. This is this big white thing on the ground. And eventually I'm just like submerged. I'm gone. And so that evening, she shows up at my table. And it was she was the first one that showed up. And it was a little startling at first. And I noticed this bright light coming in through my window, or the bright light, and she shows me a slideshow. She's flashing all these pictures at me. Now, at the time where I lived, Sedona's dark. Sedona, Arizona is so dark. It's scary dark. No, they finally put some lights in their main thing. But what I'm saying is, it is so dark here. It's scary. You can barely go to your car in your driveway and put your key in it. It's so dark here. And I was in a place, and I remember it was so dark, and they had shutters, and I would complain that it's so dark, I can't even get in my place. And here, this bright light is, I don't know, somehow coming through my window, and she's flashing just like this fast.
Right.
Photos. She's showing me a slideshow of these pictures, and I'm looking, and then I go, oh my God, she's showing me the pictures that I took today. And she kept flashing these pictures, but she kept going back to one. She'd flash all the pictures, and then she'd just stop at one. She kept doing that. Anyhow, that was a picture of her ship, and I was in the white portal. It was interesting, and for some reason that calmed me down. Like, somehow seeing those pictures, I felt okay that this woman who had white platinum hair. She was wearing a white long gown, and she had very light complected skin. And I thought that was odd. The next day, I talked to one of my friends, and I was like, gosh, I didn't think the Pleiades dressed like that. I thought the Pleiades had on the skin-tight suits. She didn't have no skin-tight suit on. So anyhow, we worked together for many years. For many years, until another group would come, and then we would work together, and then that group would physically present themselves to me.
Man, fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Really is. And you've only told a little bit of your experiences. We haven't even talked much about the light language to music, and your other stuff that you do. Tell me about these things that you make. These tools, or what did you call them? These devices.
Yeah. Well, they've turned into this. These are the sacred technologies. This here, I call them the sacred technologies because I finally was able. And before this, I didn't do jewelry or that kind of thing. I didn't know how to do things. But I was shown these things, and I just knew that I had to make them. So right. In the beginning, they were on big copper discs. They were whole configuration. Inside was copper wiring and crystals, and I just knew how to create them and how to make them. And then eventually, the lines shifted. Because each time a new group would come, I would work with them and work with their technologies. And now when the Pleiades came, that's why I call them the Pleaidian Stargate pendants, because that's how I started all the technologies then. And they gave me, I went into the portal at the Cathedral Rock Vortex, and I brought in the 333 codes. It was Language of Light 333 codes of our Divine Original Blueprint. When I did that, it was a lot for me to do. So much to do that I had 2 near-death experiences after that. It took me years to come back because I had gotten so into this portal of this light that I was having a hard time keeping my body here. being here because I was just I was leaving. So I started with the Pleiadian stargates, and eventually, well, first I brought those codes in of our divine original blueprint, and I knew they were pretty significant because after I did, I almost didn't make it here again, and I put them on the shelf. I'm like, I can't touch these. I'm not going to do anything with them. Still to this day, I've not shown them physically to the public, because I knew how powerful they were, and I just let them sit on my shelf in a sacred place for a couple of years. It's like they just need to sit. Their energy needs to be on the planet for there to be a resonancy, and then I had another group come in October of 2016. And that's why I make these particular ones. And I call these beings showed up physically. There were 6 of them. And it was extraordinarily, extremely amazing. And each one of these beings came right in front of me and connected with me. And then the next that being would leave, and then the next person would just have a communion with me. There were 6 of them, and I worked with them for a while. And I guess you call them the ascended masters. Okay. I found a picture. I found a picture of Sanat Kumara and Lady Venus, and that was Sanat Kumara. I've seen pictures of Sanat Kumara online, and he has white hair. That was him. And these beings are just beautiful, radiant beings, old beings, but gorgeous beings, and they were just like radiating this radiance. And they showed me something. Some of them did wear like jewels in their headpieces, not all of them. And they showed me this color.
What color is that? Is that like an aqua?
Yeah, it's kind of an aqua. And I was just going to place an order in Israel. And I was looking at this, and they showed me this. And then I got it. I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to use these because of the frequency of the radiance. Because there was a certain light radiance that they had. And these beings were showing me about our radiance, about our more of our eternal life codes. And so I started to create with them in mind, and I was able to. They told me a couple years ago, just now 2 years ago, that I could use the codes, the 333 codes. So now all of the lines have the 333, our DNA codes in them.
All of the stuff that you make.
All the stuff that I make, yes. And the latest one, very, very significant, that just came on the planet just the other day. It's taken me 2 years to create this. And this is the source field resonator. It's a star resonator. And this has the codes in it. This, I literally saw exactly, I saw it in the other realm. It connects you to source, strengthens your field. It clears the distorted frequency that's being put out. This is what this does. Source field resonator.
Wow. This is all fascinating. Now, where can people find these? Do you have a website, or do you do it off your Facebook?
I have 2 websites. It's I think right now it's the if you go to Shekina Speaks, that's my old website, and there's all the information on Shekina Speaks about the Blu-rays and the language of light. A ton of information that you can read about the blue rays and different things like that, and about the language of light, and there's videos. And from there you can connect to my other website, and that is the Blue Ray Empaths and the Pleaidian Stargates. And then I have a page of the Pleaidian Stargates.
Would you mind putting those in the comments section after the show's over?
Yes.
So I think some people would be interested in that. Wow. Let me ask you this. I've never asked anybody this. Who are the blue rays? Are they from one planetary system, many planetary systems?
Many planetary systems. The blue rays have it's like there's different rays of creation, and each of these rays have like signature vibrational frequencies and actual characteristics. Okay. So the blue rays come through that ray of creation, but come in and connect into different systems like Sirius, or Venus, or Andromeda. They can or Pleiades. So they can feel connections to different lineages, star lineages, and still be from the blue ray.
Okay, I got you.
But having the blue ray has a particular resonancy frequency to carry out that's actually part of even your personality for the planet. Okay.
So basically the blue ray is a if we took an individual, the blue ray is a higher aspect of that individual, higher than the planetary aspect of, say, a Pleiadian or Syrian or something like that. It's coming from, it encompasses the planetary, but also the incarnations, I don't want to say beneath it, but let's say that goes to Earth, to a human, something like that.
Yes. Okay. I like how you explained that. Yes, because it's broader. It's not just like saying that I'm a Venetian.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Venetian and I'm an angel and I'm angelic very much. I'm very connected to the angels. However, there's that ray that comes forth. I'm just not a Syrian, Venetian, right. Lemurian fairy. Yeah.
What are you doing for the solstice?
I don't know.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. We're putting something together for the solstice, and there's a couple of people I won't mention. You probably know them. I think we're going to do like a power solstice broadcast. You've got a lot of information to share. You're full of activations. If you're not doing anything, or maybe if you want to take 30 minutes or an hour of, our programming that night, well, it's an open invitation, and we'd love to have you back, because I've got a whole lot of stuff I could talk to you about, because it's really not an interview. It's just more of a conversation, but you've got a lot of, I'm not the most well-researched person out there, certainly when it comes to the star races and that type of thing. But I can tell there's a lot of fresh ground that you cover that needs to be broadcast. So if you're not doing anything on the solstice, we'd love to have you.
Think about it. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. I might be on another show because I love music, by the way. But they're asking again if you would sing a song. If you don't, that's okay. Maybe we can get you to next time. Because I don't know if you need music or how you do that, or you need preparation. But I thought I owed it to the audience to ask.
Okay. Let's see what comes forth. It's at the time what the frequency is. Okay. And what are connections. And I am going to connect in with the star resonator, because this is a really powerful device that is assisting us as well. So I'll do it through the star resonator, and I'll see what comes forth. Koreshama levoish nilai arish kumahateheya. At the highest point where our souls meet God's source creation. And an archangel chamber of love, light, healing, protection, guide, Shekina, power of the blue ray. And no entanglements and no attachments. This will be done for our highest and our greatest good. No matter what comes forth, no matter what is said, we will agree upon the highest and greatest good, the divine light of our I am soul's unity purpose. Andaso malaya halu halu ebanashia kalumate ibana samaku halu ha
Wow.
We are all in this together in unity of spirit. Indeed. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. That was a powerful hour. That was a powerful hour. Thank you so much. Yeah, it went by like that.
It went by so quickly.
It really did. It really did. Be sure and put your links there, and maybe I'll send you a message and ask you to send them to me, and I'll put them out in our network, and I'll reach out to you, or Morgan will reach out to you in the next few days and see if we can line something up for the 21st, and get you out there, help you get out there. This is a platform. It's for people like you, and that's what we do. So it's an open invitation, and I hope to see you on the 21st and do some further collaborations.
That would be lovely. And I want to thank all the beings out there too, all the souls that are supporting you and supporting all the people that are coming on, and that we've connected here today. I very much appreciate you, them and us. It's really about the remembrance of our connections and our unity and remembering each other. So important.
Yeah. I couldn't say it better myself. We'll be back in I can't even think now. We got another show later. So I think it's Jeff Cloud tonight. But yeah, we'll see you again, Shekina. Thank you so much. Thank you for honoring us with your presence and that beautiful transmission and everything else. You guys take a look at her stuff. She's going to put her links on. I think it speaks for itself. You might want to get you or take a look at the stuff and maybe get you some of that to support her efforts and also to benefit yourself. I'll say good night to you now, and I'll talk to you soon. I'll reach out to you soon. It was a pleasure meeting you. You take care.
And you too. Right? Thank you, Todd. Right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.